bought in Paris.
You bought the fabric in
I
Paris?
bought the fabric in Paris. It's a one of a kind. I only had enough to do one outfit with, so there's only one of them. So I guess that's about it.
In terms of some of your other projects, I know aside from designing, there are other things that you do. You could share with the audience this evening some of those other things that you do.
Well, most recently, I embarked on my acting career. I was in a play recently. Well, I don't consider myself an actor, but you know, I was asked to do it, and I'm always pleased when somebody thinks of me in some type of respect to do something, you know. So I just did a play recently. Other than that, I'm basically...
What was the name of the play?
It was the Colored Museum, at Essex County College. Right. But I got really good response from it, and I even got a couple of more proposals to do a couple more plays, but I'm not really interested in that.
Designing is your
Designing is
main
where
focus.
my heart is.
I see. I would imagine that you've had many hurdles before you've even gotten to this level. And what are some of those hurdles that you've encountered?
It's been very busy for me lately, you know. I've been doing a lot. January and February were like the busiest that I can remember in my whole career. I'm still not making very much money, but I am, you know, getting a lot of exposure. My name is really out there. And I do a lot of shows, once again, which I'm really trying to break away from that and go to a different arena, which, you know, I'm trying to work on my own boutique, you know, opening up my own boutique, and like catalog, doing my own catalog. So basically that's how I promote myself, just by, you know, keeping myself busy and comp cards, you know, and just...
That must take a lot of financial backing.
It does. I have a full-time job which pays the rent, so to speak, you know, and then everything else just kind of falls in place. You know,
I see. I understand that you're working on a museum, a fashion museum. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, originally it was called the Colored Museum, but I changed the name to Extensions because I wanted it to mean that it extends further than Newark. You know, it's New Jersey based, so basically any designer within New Jersey can be a part of it, you know. But what I find to be a problem most of the time is that people don't have the same energy as you or as I do.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have the same energy level, and you wind up losing something in the mix when you start to bring other people in it.
Exactly. And or doing everything yourself.
Exactly. You can't do everything yourself, which is what I'm finding out now, because I try to, but it's really difficult. You know, but then you really can't find anybody who wants to, you know, jump on the bandwagon.
Right. So is this museum, is this in the making? Is it far off, or is this something that we can expect to see?
It's very close. It is in the making. I have this, well, I had the space, but I lost the space. So now I have, but I have all the designers that are interested. I'm working on the mannequins. Everything is pretty much glued. It's just space now. So I'm just looking for a location that will house it for a month, basically.
I see. You know. Tell me a little bit more about, I understand you were working on another project. I was fortunate enough to see it, the red dress calendar.
Yes. The red dress is, it's a beauty story, it's an accessory story. It's a calendar that I'm putting together again, myself. It's all one dress. It's being photographed. It's been photographed because it's already in completion. It's just going to the printers now. It was just recently airbrushed. It's 12 different beauties that have been shot in Paris, London, New York. And it's like an accessory.
In the same red dress?
It's the same dress. It's just accessorized differently. So every time you see it, as a matter of fact, it's in here too.
Oh,
every time you see it, it's different. Here's two.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Two different.
And this was in Paris?
This was in Paris. This was in New York.
Oh,
so, but gorgeous. It's the same dress. It's just like an accessory story, a beauty story. You know, the dress is shot backwards, forwards. You know. So
oh, that's absolutely beautiful and unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. And when can we expect to see that?
Hopefully 96.
96.
It keeps getting pushed back because I get so bombarded with other things. But it's completed. It just needs to go to press now.
I see.
So, but it's in the works, like so many other things.
And in terms of the models that you work with, are these do you approach your models or do they approach you? How do you go about soliciting
Well, you
models
know,
for your fashions?
actually, really and truly, it's kind of like a family affair. You know, the
Hmm.
girls that work with me are almost like my sisters and my daughters, kind of, you know, so to speak.
Hmm.
You know, we're all family. It's very closely knit. Um, I do run across lots of different girls every time I do a show who wants to kind of join the family, so to speak.
Right,
But
right.
it's really difficult because these girls have been with me from the beginning, you know. So, you know, it's like a family.
Right, right. Why don't you share with me, because I'm curious, and yes, very curious, to know what some of your experiences have been, again, with some of the well-known entertainers that you have worked with. I'm sure you have a unique story to tell, and I'd like for you to share that with me.
Well, let's see. What would, can I speak of
What's it
Freddie
like
Jackson?
working? Oh, yeah, by all
Well,
means.
Freddie Jackson and Najee, they did a video together, which I did the video, All I Ever Asked,
Yes.
which is the song. Um, and I did the videos are just too long for me. I've turned down quite a few videos recently.
When you say they're too long, what do you mean?
It's like an all-day process, you know. I'm there from like 7 in the morning to like 12 at night, and
Wow, is that
it's
long?
just too exhausting. They feed you well, but it's too exhausting, you know. So I really pulled out from doing videos.
Hmm.
But with Freddie and Najee, um, it was interesting because you find these guys really want to be pampered, you know,
Right,
and
right.
more so than the women, you know. I mean, you know, it's like block my nose, cut my hair, you know. It's just a lot of energy. I really don't like doing males as much as I like women, you know. It's a lot more creative with women, you know.
Like
You
you're
have
saying, oh,
colors
so the
that
men
you can
have to be
work with.
pampered more so than the women, and we
And
would think that it's the other way around.
exactly, exactly, you know, because with men, you know, the trouble is you have to be very natural, you know. You have to keep the cosmetics natural, and, you know, it's just
Right.
grooming. You know, with women, you have the freedom to explore and just, you know, colors, and, you know, you can work with a lot of different things. So you have a lot more. That's, a lot of people ask me, why don't you do menswear? Well, I don't do menswear because I don't have a feel for menswear, even though I did design the suit that I'm wearing. However,
Nice suit.
you know, thank you very much. But for the most part, menswear is so limited, you know. It's only recently that guys have really opened up, and they're, you know, they're more
Started wearing
adventurous. They're wearing
colors,
colors,
right.
you know, which I've always worn, you know, but they're so limited, you know. They really need to open up a little more. With women, you can do anything. Whatever you do, there is a market. Somebody will buy it.
Right.
You know.
Now, how did you, I understand that you also do makeup. How did you, was that by chance, or was that just something that you wanted to try out in
Um,
addition to designing? How did that
Well, it
pan
all
out?
goes hand in hand, really, you know, which I've saved myself quite a few times, you know, if you book makeup artists and they don't show up or they show
Right.
up late, and then I wind up having to do the makeup myself. And then, too, more times than not, I know what I'm looking for, you know, so I don't have to explain it to another makeup artist. I can just do it myself.
Right.
I started doing makeup in, like, 83. You know, I used to do a lot of fashion shows, and I used to watch all the other makeup artists and just, you know, just be envious, you know. And then finally I just started practicing and practicing. None of my sisters would really let me do them because I was awful. You know, of course now they want me to do them just to go to the grocery store.
Right.
But, you know, eventually I got it, you know, and I have it now.
I see.
So,
Interesting. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Designing, or
well,
maybe branching off into something different?
designing is really in my blood. I really don't see past, you know. I don't really look that far into the future. I deal with now, you know, because it's none of us are promised tomorrow, you know, and I just really deal with the energy that I have now. I can't foresee the future.
No.
No.
I see. Well, let's take another look at some more of your
Sure.
designs here, and if you could just talk a little
So we
bit
go
about some of them
Okay.
to the viewers.
All right. Actually, this is interesting. I did this in 1983 when I graduated
Beautiful.
from design school. So that's every
This was
designer.
a piece that you did upon graduation? Wow.
Both of those pieces. Every designer starts in evening wear. I don't know why. It's our fantasy, you know, to do evening wear.
Is that a requirement, or that's just the
No,
way?
it's just every sketch that you ever do when you're a kid, it's an evening gown, you know.
There's a need just to do something fabulous and with
Exactly, you
flair
know,
and
frills and, you know, the
color
whole
and
nine.
everything. Okay.
But for me, you know, I excel in sportswear. It's really important for I'd rather see my clothes on backs than on racks, you know. It's really important for me to see my things walking down the street, you know, than to see them just hanging up in the store, beautiful dresses.
Right, right.
I like that I'm doing wearable things. That's really
Okay.
important.
Wearable things.
So, and let's see what else we have here. Oh, that's me. I think that's about the end of the book.
I see.
So Ivy, tell me, this is a question I always asked my customers, my girls, so to speak. And at this time, you are a Dougieette. How does it feel to wear Douglas Says?
How does it feel to wear Douglas Says? Actually, it feels wonderful. It's
You look wonderful.
Thank you very
You
much.
do.
It's clingy, but it's not constricting, and it really gives me a sexy feeling. I feel sexy.
That's what I
feel
aim
very
to
sexy.
do.
I do. Douglas, do you work with any young designers in the area, any upcoming designers?
You know, here it is again. I approached 2 or 3 different younger upcoming designers, and I said, you know, why don't you guys come and work with me? You know, I can show you how to do this, this, and this. And everybody was like, oh, yeah, sure, great, wonderful. But no energy, no get up and go. Nobody showed up. So, you know.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's ego a lot of times. You know, everybody thinks, you know, well, it's really difficult for New Jersey designers to join together and just and work together. Everybody thinks that we can't work together. You know, oh, you think this way, I think that way. You know, but basically we're all trying to achieve the same goal. We're all trying to sell a dress. You know,
Exactly,
whether the dress is short, long, flare, you know, whatever. We're all trying to sell a dress. So I don't know, if we're working in the same space, because basically that's always the problem, you know, we're either working at home or we're working, you know, in a space we can't afford. But if we all join forces and we're all working together, common goal, paying our rent, whatever,
Exactly.
you know, it just makes it a lot easier on us. I mean, I learn from you, you learn from me, we learn from each other, you know.
Right. Well,
I don't know, it doesn't work that way.
I see. And you're still in Newark.
I live in Jersey City right now, but my family's still in Newark, so I'm in and out of Newark like very often.
I see.
And I do a lot of local shows still here in Newark.
Okay. Local shows. Well, on that note, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have a special treat for our audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Janine woke up in a cold sweat with one thing echoing through her brain. Who was this guy in her bathroom?
Meanwhile, Barry was thinking, whose bathroom am I in?
Janine remembered going to the party the night before and getting smashed out of her mind.
Barry remembered getting drunk and acting really stupid.
Eventually.
The whole evening came back.
Oh, I must be really stupid.
I must be really dumb.
What did I do? How did I get myself into this?
Well, what did I do? How did I get myself into this?
What about AIDS? Then they both realized, much to their relief, that unlike the rest of us,
They were just cartoons.
get high,
Get stupid.
get AIDS.
Welcome back. Before we went to break, I promised you that we would come back with a special treat, and that's precisely what we have. Our first model, Renee,
Renee's wearing 4 pieces of denim. 4 pieces of denim. I'm really into the denim right now, you know.
Yeah.
Aside from doing the stretch, I like to do something that's really, really wearable. It's really functional, you know. And
it's dressy, but it's not too dressy.
yeah, you know, I
Right.
mean, denim is like an everyday fabric,
Yes.
you know. So you have like 4 different textures of denim going on here, you know. This is liquid like a knit, you know, and then you have the sheer denim, which is in voile, you know, so it's, and then the vest snaps, you know, so it's really fun and wearable
And the
and still
different shades
sexy.
of denim, too.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Our next model is Rosemary.
Rosemary's been with me for a long, long